What is up, friends? Greg, Newmaster, coming at you again with another action figure review. Oh my goodness. Wow. I've been waiting for this figure my entire life. Uh, I think this is going to be the best Batman action figure ever made, comic book style. This is the Mafex Batman Hush version based on Jim Lee's design. If you guys like these videos, please like and subscribe, and feel free to comment if there's any discussion or questions you have or corrections. So I'll keep making these videos if you like them, and if you don't, then I won't. But I love doing this, and wow. I am just blown away by this figure. I haven't even taken it out of the package yet. I've been waiting for almost, I don't know, over like a year and a half, maybe 2 years for this figure since they announced it. I love Mafex. They do figures almost perfectly. Besides this, I'm waiting for the 112 Collective Michael Keaton Batman. But as far as comic book Batman figures go, this is everything I've ever wanted. And without even taking it out of the package, I can already tell I'm going to love it just based on my other Mafex figures. So a little backstory. So probably top 4 favorite superheroes are Superman, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and of course Batman. Batman 1989 blew my mind first time I saw it. Michael Keaton, Tim Burton's film, Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I just remember all of the hype that summer of them releasing that film and just seeing the trailer and the Diet Coke commercials and just seeing the Batmobile like rush through the dark streets. It was like one of the most exciting movie experiences I ever had. On top of growing up with the Super Friends and Batman and Robin, and then the reruns of the 60s show with Adam West and Burt Ward. I mean, Batman was it when I was a kid, among Spider-Man, and then later on Wolverine and the X-Men, and of course Superman. But in the beginning, it was always Batman and Superman. And that makes sense because they're the oldest superheroes in terms of pop culture. Came out in the late 30s. He was noir, this noir character. He even had a gun in the very first issues and killed people. And I guess it was reactionary to Prohibition, the time in the 30s and the Great Depression. So all this stuff that was happening. But, you know, what a great character. What a great character. And then Batman the Animated Series. Oh my goodness. And let me explain to you why I've been waiting for this figure. So Batman the Animated Series, for most people in my generation, is what Batman is. Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill was the Joker. But Kevin Conroy's voice and that slick animation that we'd never seen before. So we went from like very wooden, clunky, almost ridiculous looking animation in Batman, the animated in the Super Friends, excuse me, to Batman the Animated Series, which was portrayed Batman as this sleek warrior. He was a ninja. He was a detective. He had all this cool tech for his time that nobody else had. So everything that was great about Batman, everything we had been dying to see, which was, of course, started with Tim Burton's film in '89. And then if you want to go back to Frank Miller in the comics, and even Neil Adams, his visual interpretation of Batman. But everything we wanted to see came to fruition in Batman the Animated Series. Now, on to action figures. When they had the action figures for Batman the Animated Series, it was so exciting that they came out. But they were terrible. They were terrible figures. They had little to no articulation. Like they didn't bend at the knees or the elbows, and even the Super Friends action figures bent at the knees and the elbows. It was, I want to say, 5-point articulation. The head would turn left and right. You could move the arms at the shoulders, sort of like a Barbie doll, up and down, and same with the legs. And that was it. That was it. It was so terrible. It was so disappointing. And, customizing action figures has come such a long way. But even I was customizing my figures. Like, I remember taking an X-Acto knife and a drill and putting joints in on my figures because they didn't bend, they weren't articulated. And we were spoiled from such a wonderful cartoon where Batman was so nimble and sleek. Same with Nightwing and Robin. And we didn't have this with our action figures. So for years, I've been waiting for DC to release the perfect comic book version Batman figure. And I think it's finally here with this Mafex Batman Hush series. Also, a note on Jim Lee. I grew up primarily in the late 80s and the 90s. And Jim Lee was the stuff in the 90s. He drew X-Men, which was just mind-blowing and revolutionary. He drew pretty much everything. Eventually, he moved on to Batman and Superman. But his artwork blew my mind. It clearly influenced everybody in the 90s. I would say Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane were probably the top comic book artists of the 90s, and they were the most influential. They were the Eddie Van Halen and the Slash of the 90s, like if you want to make a comparison. So here we have, this is Jim Lee's artwork. I still have, my Batman 608, the first issue of the Batman Hush series. Get a good look at that artwork, folks, because that is what this figure is going to be based on. And just another visual reference. But, I mean, he was just stunning. His artwork was stunning. And it was almost realistic with just a twinge of anime style to it. But, man, the way he drew the X-Men is how I'll always see the X-Men. And then for him to do Batman, I'm not talking about the New 52. I'm talking 2002, the year I graduated high school, Batman Hush. Just like the perfect visualization of Batman, Robin, Nightwing, the Rogues Gallery, Jim Lee. It's like if he drew something, it went off the shelves. So here we go. We finally have Batman Hush. Been waiting for this figure all my life. Hopefully it lives up to the expectations. Let's take a look. So here's the front of the package. Here's the side with that beautiful... look at this even here. Look at how the cape is over the shoulders. So Tim Burton started that with his design in the Batman '89 movie, where I think that Neil Adams comics did it too, but it was such a cool look. Like Batman would always drape his cape over his shoulders, and it would conceal his hands, and it would conceal his utility belt. And then when he threw his batarangs, it was a surprise, or if he brought out a tool from his utility belt. There's the back. We have just power pose, unmasked Bruce Wayne. And that's another thing is, masked comic book characters, when you would get the action figure, to me it would always be a disappointment as a kid when you couldn't unmask them. So, this is, kudos to, I would say, Marvel Legends now and any DC figures that have an unmasked version of the character. So it looks like we have a beautiful unmasked head of Bruce Wayne. There's the side. Looks like that. Here is the top. It says Hush, Batman Hush. Looks great. And finally, guys, always got to take a look at the bottom. So that is our official Mafex seal. So you know that it's real and it's not a knockoff. Been waiting for a while for this. waiting for a while. So let's bust this baby out. I am seeing it for the first time with you guys. So hopefully nothing goes wrong. But I mean, you don't get much cooler than Bruce Wayne Batman. He is this tragic figure where his parents were murdered in front of him in Crime Alley. And he takes all of his wealth, all of his resources, trains himself in all sorts of martial arts, trains himself how to be a detective, trains himself in pickpocketing and Houdini magician stuff to become an escape artist. Oh, that looks so good already. I can already tell how good that looks. But and just makes himself into the best superhero possible. I'm just, wow, like loving this cloth cape with the wires. Nothing's better than a cloth cape. Look at that. You can pose the cape. It's coming over the shoulders, concealing him. I just love that look, as I said before. Let's get a look at that cowl. Oh, man. Just spot on. I mean, they just nailed this figure. I can already tell this is my this is my all-time favorite Batman figure. I think this is the best that they've ever made, comic book style. Still waiting for the, in terms of movie, I'm an 89 Batman fan. I do have the 112 Collective Batfleck for Batman versus Superman figure. Love that look. But I love it because it looks like the comic version. But I mean, look at that, guys. Just look at that. So it's a wired cape. I'm going to be careful with this, tucking it back there, because in the past when I've had Mezco, these wires come out of the top of the cowl here. But let's take this and get a good look at it. I mean, it's just beautiful. I'm trying to look really closely. I'm sorry if I'm not getting this in camera. It doesn't look like there's too much shading in the gray. There's a little bit. It's real subtle. So there's real subtle shades in the grays. Also, they're going to be releasing a black version of this. Excuse me. Yeah, they'll be releasing a black and gray version of this. So if you don't like the blue, they will be having a black and gray version. Even the proportions look great. He doesn't look too skinny like Spider-Man. You know, he looks nice and buff. Like the shoulders look big and proportionate to the way Batman should be. Just looks great. The utility belt looks great. Get a good look at that. There's all the pouches there. It's loose, so we can see his Batman underwear. Lift this up in the back. That cape is just, look at that. Look at that musculature on the back. We got the rhomboids. We got the back of his delts. Kind of can see his traps and his lats. Looks fantastic. Like, look at that. There's his bat butt. You know, but the thing about this is they made beautifully sculpted figures in the past. Like, there was a Total Justice Batman, came out in a JLA series, and the sculpts on those figures were amazing. But once again, it was limited articulation. This baby is as articulated as you can get. So let's get a good look at that. So that's a nice loose, not too loose, but loose enough. Shoulder lift there. We got the bicep cuts, thank God. We got the butterfly joints in the shoulders. Just wonderful. Lots of crunch. So he can crunch real far. I'm trying to be careful with this, guys, because I just opened it up. Like, you guys are seeing this for the first time with me. So look at that crunch. Like, that's a solid crunch. Never had a Batman figure in the past that could do that, like in the early days. But look at that. Just wonderful. I feel like, no, it doesn't have that extender joint in there, but just great. We got rotation at the top of the torso. He also has it in the waist and the hips, but you probably won't be using that too much. Let's check out the hips. Oh, kicking up the feet there. Look at that tread. See that, guys? Paying attention to detail there. Look at that. You could reenact that pose. See that boot tread there? They matched it on the bottom. Ah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. What else? We even got the toe articulation. Jeez, oh man. Sorry, you guys see that? Look at that toe articulation. Ankle, up and down. We got the pivot. You guys see that? Up and down. It's nice and tight. Not overly tight, but tight enough. Double jointed knees, baby. Like, look at that. Can't go wrong. They even have the thigh swivel, but it's up in the hip. So, just like it looks so sleek and beautiful. I'm going to be careful with the straddle because in the past I've popped the legs off on the Mafex. So that's about as far as a straddle we can get. You can get them into a split. Just, you know, and that's how Batman should be. Batman should be very flexible. He was a ninja. He was trained by ninjas, depending on who's writing the story. But Batman is a trained ninja. I loved how they did it in Batman Begins. Yeah, so it's just like, we got the double jointed elbows. Look at the greaves there too. This is a real soft plastic. Or I'm sorry, the bracers, the gloves, the gauntlets, whatever you want to call them. So it's a real soft plastic, but it's a nice sharp angular cut, just like the Jim Lee drawing. So it just looks wonderful. Here's the wrists and the hands. I'm going to be very careful. Sorry. You guys can see that. There we go. These are just normally, they're tiny little pegs. So you see that tiny little peg there? Not too shabby. Sorry guys, this is a longer video just because I love Batman so much. I know you guys do. Yeah, so he just looks wonderful. I don't think I went over the head. Head goes down that far. So you can get him nice and looking down. Goes up that far. And, and it comes off nice and easy. So, so get a look there. There's that nice little ball joint. And let's take a look at the different heads. So here's the standard head that comes on. Let's take a look at... look at that Bruce Wayne head. My goodness. Look at that, guys. That looks so good. That looks better than the Peter Parker head. I mean, that's like spot on comic. Looks fantastic. That's the way I see Bruce Wayne. Like, he kind of has the animated series resemblance, but he, you know, that's what he looks like in the comics. We have a shading of a black and blue over the hair there. You guys can see that. Just looks wonderful. He's very fair skinned. They used a very fair skin tone. Mafex typically does. Let's pop this head on. See how easy it goes on. Nice and easy. Yeah, so it went on. So look, you know, this is wonderful. If you want to pose him in the Bat Cave and, you know, with it unmasked and he can, you know, kind of, you can hold the cowl if you know, however you want to do it. But, wonderful, wonderful. Let's take a look at the cape too. I didn't show you guys that. Let's get him set up here. Let's get him standing. And look at that. So there's wires in the front here, and then there's wire right there. So we got total of 4 wires in the cape. So we can get that awesome, you know, spread wing pose of, like, you know, if Batman's like jumping down, just cut. It's a nice navy blue, just really beautiful, so well done. I gotta say, it is the best Batman figure comic book version I've ever seen. Guys, if you don't have this, you have to get it. And, you know, or if you want the dark version, the black and gray, get that one too. Let's take a look at the other face. So you get 3 heads with this. Here's a gritted teeth face. Not too bad. The gritted teeth, I like the neutral head. Here he is with the neutral head. So I don't know, it's your preference. But look at that cowl. Cowl looks fantastic. Nice eyebrow lines and just scrunched up looking angry face. Batman's supposed to look scary. Just wonderful though. And you get tons of accessories with this, of course. So let's see here. We get, I think I have 3 batarangs. So here's 1 batarang. Here's two of the exact same batarangs. So you gotta have batarangs. They're silver colored instead of the traditional black batarang. Oh, actually, you get 4. So you get one shaped like that. So you get 2 like this and 2 like this is sort of like the boomerang style batarang. Traditional, reminds me of the Adam West batarang. You also get, this is his grappling. This is the hook, the grappling gun. This, I don't think this is a wire. This is a solid, this is metal. This is a solid piece of metal. So I don't think this bends. I'm afraid to bend it. I don't want to break it. But it's not bendy wire. And he has a grapple in both hands. So you get his grappling gun for the left and the right hand. I'm trying to get this out without dumping everything. And there they go. Because whenever I dump it, I end up losing stuff. But, put the hook back in there for a second. Let's see if I can pop this out. There we go. This looks amazing. Yeah, so there's the grappling gun. My only complaint, and this is probably going to be my only complaint, is I don't like when they sculpt it into the hand. I like when it's detachable, but it looks great. Look at that. There's a little port in there. So you can put, you guys can see that. I'm sorry, it's out of focus. Give me 1 second. All right. So there's I think it's a port there, but you're supposed to be, yeah, there you go. So you port that in like so, and you can see that. So you can fire the, his very famous grappling gun. Trying to find, here it is, it fell. So here it is with, it comes with a smaller piece, like so. There's the end of it. See that? And that port's in there like so. I'll swap it out so you guys can see it on the figure. And just looks awesome. Oof. Yeah, so get a good look at that, guys. There he is with his grappling gun. And you always got to have, Batman's always got to come with at least a grappling gun and a batarang. Those are his go-to weapons or devices. But he just looks amazing. I love this. Best Batman figure ever made. I mean, just look at that. Look at that tight toe articulation too. Doesn't look shabby. You know, I love the NECA Batman, the NECA versus Alien. And I'm going to do a comparison in a moment. But the NECA paint job is real sloppy. So you get two hands. Let's see, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of interchangeable hands. There's one hand. He has the other hand matches that hand. So I'm not going to show you both. Let's see. There's like I don't know if this is like a Batarang hand, maybe. But you get two sets. You guys saw that when all the hands are identical. It's just a left and a right. So here's this is his right hand, and he comes with little shurikens clenched in his fist. You kind of really mess somebody up with that. Also has a left hand with that. And what else do we got? This looks like this is a holding hand. So let me take the Batarang here, and yeah, so you can fit the Batarang in there just like that. Yeah, see, I prefer hands like this. So, just a standard set of holding hands. Like, if the grappling gun could have come separate. Like, I used to have the Mafex Batman versus Superman Batman, and the grappling gun came separate. It wasn't sculpted, which I prefer. But that's okay. That's my only complaint, which is not much. Even the gloves are shaded. You can see, I don't know why they gave another, it's like a slightly fisted hand with the thumb open. Don't really know why they gave you this one, but like, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's even shading on the knuckles. Sorry, my big paws there. But, and it also comes with a stand, which I'll be using, but holy cow, guys. Jeez, look at that. I'm going to take off the Bruce Wayne head, because I'm going to just show you how it compares with my two favorite other comic book Batman. And, that's nice. That's real easy to swap out. Really easy. I'm going to move these comics so the camera will focus better. There we go. Because anytime they're in the frame, they want to focus on Jim Lee's beautiful artwork. But, yeah. I mean, just look at that. Ah, wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, A+, Mafex, A+, you hit it out of the park. So here he is with the NECA Batman, which I love this Batman. However, he is huge. So I don't like how big he is. That's if Batman was like Shaquille O'Neal. And here is a throwback figure. This was my favorite Batman figure for years. This was the DC Universe Classics Batman. This Batman, I made a custom cape. So, because I like cloth capes. That's what he looks like from the back. Kind of crappy job that I did on the back, but I did this a long time ago. But this is kind of like Jim Lee style too. So, I mean, just look at that. These are my top 3 favorite Batman figures besides my Mezco 112 Collective Batman versus Superman. That is also my other favorite, and I'm sure my Michael Keaton Batman 112 Collective will be my favorite as well, one of my favorites as well. But I mean, there he is, and look at the size. He's just slightly bigger than the DC Universe's classics Batman. This Batman was cool because they finally gave some articulation, which it wasn't perfect articulation, but it was pretty darn good. Not quite as good as the Mezco, the Mafex. It doesn't have the double jointed knees or elbows, but it's a stunning figure. And this guy is beautiful as well. He's just so big. He also has that Neil Adams look, or Legends of the Dark Knight look. So he looks really good. Let me see here how he scales next to, so here he is with, I'll show you a Marvel Legends just to see the scale. This is him with the Green Goblin. Also have a Peter Parker, so I'll pull out the Peter Parker so you guys can see how he scales with that. Yeah, so here he is with Green Goblin, and the Green Goblin is like maybe just a couple centimeters bigger than him. That's my only problem too about Mafex is they're just like they're just a little bit small, not too much, but just a hair small. So here he is with civilian Peter Parker, and so Batman should probably be a lot bigger than Spider-Man, obviously, but that's how he scales with the Marvel Legends. So they're about the same size. But just, I mean, just a beautiful figure. I mean, just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Like I said, this is my favorite Batman figure that I've ever owned. I'm so happy I bought it. If you are a Batman figure, you must buy this figure. This is a must-buy figure. Just wonderful. The black version is coming out next year, black and gray. So if you like that one better and you're holding out for that one, get that. I may pick that one up too, just because I love it. But yeah, please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and God bless you all, guys. Mafex, Batman, Hush. I can't wait until they release other figures in this series. Catwoman's coming out. Hush is coming out. I hope they release Robin and Nightwing. All right, peace, everybody.